Since the pandemic, a lot of things have changed. But now we have to ask ourselves the question, what is going to work after we've opened back up? I've been open for a while. Here's some things that I've learned. Well, welcome to another edition of the Lead Well videos. I hope you enjoyed the last one. We're starting to make more of these, and I am excited to bring you some content. This is an older post I did back in October, back on my Lead Well blog. You can find that out at davidrenaud.blogspot.com. And you can read all of the posts that I'm doing there. I'm certainly writing more that I'm making these videos, but I'm gradually transferring these over. So let's talk about reopening your church and what exactly that looks like. Well, when like many of you, when the pandemic started, I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I had 3 days to prepare and think about like what is the plan? How are we going to effectively minister to our congregation? And with me as a children's pastor, how am I going to effectively minister to the kids, and how does this all work? And so I quickly wrote down a plan, I didn't quickly write down a plan. After 2 weeks of panic, I sat down with a calendar, and actually, here's a picture of it, of where I wrote down of here's the things that I'm going to try to work. And that was the plan that I used until the end of July when we reopened children's ministry. Since then, since the end of July, we started with just one service, and then we went to 2 services on Sunday, and then we added a 3rd service on Saturday, specifically for the Brazilian congregation that's out of our church. And then just in January, we opened up on Wednesday night. So we are technically fully back open again. But the other thing I didn't do is that I didn't abandon the digital. I know it's super easy to say, well, now that we're back in person, we don't have to continue to do these videos. We don't have to continue to connect online. But that's a fallacy. You can't believe that, because as I'm looking at my attendance numbers, and while they are going up and I'm seeing new kids that I've never saw pre-pandemic, and a lot of the kids are coming back, I'm still only running about 60% of what I had pre-pandemic. And so there's still a lot of kids who are not watching my service, who are not coming in person, are not comfortable coming back in. And so I have to continue to minister to those kids, and continue to reach out to kids who may not have a church, or their parents have pulled them out of church because they're just staying at home, or maybe they're just kids just looking for fun things on YouTube. And so I continue to create and put out content for them. So here's 3 things that I found that have been working since July, that are working both in person and online. The first one is Potato Head Theater. If you're watching this on YouTube, you've seen my Potato Head Theater. There's a lot. It's about a 3 to 5 minute Bible story that I use. Thank you to High Voltage Children's Ministry and Brian Dollar for writing the incredible scripts that we use. And basically, we just tell a Bible story each week, and tell the Bible story each week. But we don't just use this for digital. I originally created this because I had a whole bunch of Star Wars potato heads, and I wanted to come up with a fun way to tell the story instead of just a talking head. And so that became an integral part of our digital service. But when we opened back up in person, our service times were greatly reduced. And so I didn't feel like I had time to get up there and tell the Bible story, but that is absolutely important for children's ministry. So what I did is I took our Potato Head Theater and I double sourced it. I used it not only in my digital service, but I continued to use it every single service that we do in person, so that it's timed. I know exactly how it's going to be, how long it's going to be, and I know how long my service can go. Even though we've pushed our services back up to an hour, 15 minutes, that Potato Head Theater is still stayed there because it helps condense the service and give us time for more things like small group, which I'll talk about in just a minute. So when you're thinking about opening back up in your children's ministry, and you've been doing this digital ministry, and now you're adding back in the in-person ministry, don't abandon everything on the digital side. Look at the And also look at what was working in digital and what can you put into the physical. How can you use both of those so that you continue to use your time effectively and learn some of the skills and take some of the skills that you were learning digitally and put it in the physical. It will be greatly benefit you and bring some synergy so you can do double the work. The second thing that I've started doing that has been greatly beneficial, I started doing it during COVID, is I've started making birthday videos. You can watch one of those right here. Hey, Evie, it's your birthday. I'm so excited that it's your birthday, and yet you are yet another year older. I certainly miss you around here, but I want you to know that we love you and we want to wish you a happy birthday. So here's what I did. I got a whole bunch of my friends together to wish you a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Evie.
Well, happy birthday. I hope you have a wish birthday, and we love you, and we hope you see you soon.
Happy birthday. I hope you have a wonderful birthday and you get all your birthday wishes come true. Bye.
Birthday to you, a happy birthday to you. May you feel Jesus near every day of the year. A happy birthday to you, a happy birthday to you. And the best year you've ever had. Bum, bum, bum.
Happy birthday, everybody. Have a great time.
Happy birthday. Hope it's a good one.
Hey, just want to wish you a very happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Hey, happy birthday. I hope it's amazing. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. We used to sing that to all of our friends, and you're our friends. We love you. Happy birthday. May God's blessings be upon you.
Hey, I am so glad you were born. The world is better because you're on the planet. And here's what I want to say to you today. Happy birthday.
So what these birthday videos are is, and what I did with these is I originally created these because I wasn't seeing kids on Sunday and I was sending out birthday cards and say, hey, you can come get something out of our store, but there was no telling when they were going to come back. So I needed to come up with some way to talk to the kids and send them a video. So I got a whole bunch of my small group leaders. We were already doing Zoom meetings in person. I walked around to our church staff and just filmed them saying happy birthday. And then boom, it's done. And so I just have that one clip that I reuse all the time. And then I remake the intro video for each kid. We're entering into March. And so I need to make the March ones. I haven't made those yet. And so I just personalize each one to each individual kid. And sometimes there's 7 kids, sometimes there's 4 kids, sometimes there's 15 kids. It doesn't matter. And so it doesn't matter how many it is because it's super easy to make. And I just drop it into my video editor and make the videos because most of it is already pre-made. Here's the thing about birthday videos is that this is a super easy thing. And for me, I was awful about celebrating birthdays. I didn't remember it. I didn't sing. I felt like it was awkward to sing happy birthday in kids church. What if you got a shy kid who's like, I don't want to be up there. And then you got other kids who eat it up. And so this was a fun and easy way that I could reach out to kids, not only on the weekend, but also during the week on their birthday. So what I do is after I take that video, I keep track, and every Monday I look at whose birthday is that week. And then I send out those birthday videos to the parents. It's just a drive link, just a cloud link that they can then watch it. And it says, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, or it's been great seeing you on Sunday morning. It doesn't matter. I send it to all the kids that I have data on, and I send it to them. And then the parents respond incredibly. They are so thankful, and the kids absolutely love it. An additional bonus for this gives me a way to connect and talk with parents that I may not have been talking with every time, because every week here's 3 or 4 parents that I can reach out to see how they're doing. And also, hey, I'm not wanting anything from you. I'm actually giving you something. Here's a birthday video for your kid. It's a total win. I encourage you to find something similar to that. The third thing I've started doing, and this is the final thing, is the integrating small groups. So what I was doing before the pandemic, when we had small groups instead of Sunday school, and so we would do large group, and we do large group for 45, 50 minutes, and then we would split into small group for 20 to 25 minutes. And a lot of time, for me in my particular area, there wasn't a lot of space for us to all meet together. We had to separate, and we actually went to separate classrooms. So in addition to the 25 minutes that they had, a part of that 25 minutes was actually travel to the room and travel back. And it wasn't even a secure location. So I had to have volunteers in the hallway to make sure that, people aren't like poking in the rooms, getting where kids or not background checked. And it was just a logistical nightmare. It just wasn't working. And so what I decided to try to do is try to integrate my small group. So we still do large group and we still do small group. A large portion of it is at the end. But the other thing I started doing is that I had all the kids sit in their small group, which spread us out, which was super beneficial because, social distance. And then I started integrating the small groups as part of the service. So instead of us just playing a large group game where one boy and one girl compete against each other, I started saying, hey, why don't your small group versus your small group? Why don't your small groups compete within each other? And so sometimes I still do that large group game. One boy, one girl. Sometimes they play the game just in their small group. Sometimes it's one small group versus another small group, but that happens in the middle of the service. The other thing I started doing is immediately after the Bible story, instead of going directly into the memory verse and then sermon, and then we go into small group, immediately after the Bible story, we then start a conversation and start talking about what did you just learn? What do we learn about God? How can we apply this to our lives? And then we come back together for the memory verse and the sermon. And then we go back into small group. And so a lot of my volunteers were wary about this because I was kind of pitching this idea pre-pandemic. And they were like, I don't know if this is going to work. But when we started back up, I had been talking about this for months. And so I had very little resistance because it was a brand new start to everything that we're doing. And since we've been doing it since July, I'm seeing greater relationships. I'm seeing greater involvement in small groups. We're seeing a lot less we're not having security risks, and the kids are really enjoying what it is. And I will tell you, they also remember the content. So when I ask them questions about what they just saw in the Bible story, they're not like deer in the headlights like sometimes you get when you work in children's ministry. Now, some of the things that I do run into since I've started integrating small groups with it is that because we're all in the same room, it does get loud. And so I have started to kind of separate them and spread them out. And the other thing we're doing is that since we're growing, which is great, some of these groups that I started with are getting too big. And so I'm going to have to split those groups up, which is then going to take up more space and be more loud as I have different leaders in there. So there's still some logistics I got to work in there. But the key there is that integrating that small groups has greatly changed the whole pacing of the service, kept things fresh, and kept things new as we've gone through. So those are 3 things that I've done since I've started, since I've reopened, since COVID, and things that I'm seeing are being absolutely successful. So let me ask you the question. What are you seeing that you are being successful? Write that down in the comments and let me know. Hey, if you like this content, I hope you will subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and like this video so that more people can see it and more people can be reached. That's it for this video. We'll see you next time.